What I have here is a couple of pieces from my Sazabi kit that I'm gonna apply decals to. Now, starting off with some of these pieces, you notice that it's very glossy. Now, if I were to apply the decals onto, say, this part, I have funnel system decals. This is a flat coated surface. Decals won't stick as well because there's tiny little bumps on the surface to refract the light, and basically the decals silvering will happen if you try to apply decals over such a surface. So what you want is you want a very glossy surface to apply your decals over. Now, so I'm going to put these away and work on these later after I've clear coated them with the gloss. Now, the decals I'm using are water slide decals from Samuel Decal, and this is a decal sheet that was designed by Funaka on various message boards. He has a tutorial on thosegundamguys.org that explains what program he uses and how he designs his decals. He designs his decals and then sends them off to Samuel Decal and has them printed. So, you know, they do custom decals. So if you have a kit that you want to build and you want your own design of decals, you just follow his instructions and have your own decals printed. So another note on some of these Samuel decals is sometimes they're a little bit delicate. So what you can do is, on this sheet, all you have to do is spray some lacquer-based clear gloss. Just spray a little bit mist over it, one coat or two, and then let it cure for overnight, and this will strengthen the decals. Now, the only problem with that is it thickens the decals, so you're gonna have to mess with that later on when after you've applied decals with, you know, clear coats and your marks, your setting solutions for your decals. But that's one way to strengthen these decals. Now, if I'm very careful, these decals won't break apart while I'm using them. So I'm going to start with Sazabi's, you know, two front skirts, and I'm just going to dip these decals into the water and let them kind of soak up the water. Now you want to let this sit here for maybe about 10 to 20 seconds or so. The decal film has some adhesive to it, and you don't want to completely dissolve or let this sit here too long because it will completely dissolve the decal adhesive. So, you know, after a little bit, you could, you know, take the decal out and put it on the. See, it's already. You can see that it's already kind of coming off of the decal paper. So you pull the decals out here and just let them sit on a piece of paper towel, just while you work on, you know, other things. Another thing I have here are Q-tips. Now, dip the Q-tip into the water and moisten it a little bit. And what you can do is you can use the Q-tip to kind of position the decal without using your fingers, so that this is nice and soft and it won't hurt the decal. Again, working with delicate decals, you want something delicate to move this around. So I'm going to start with, you know, the little treble clef of Char's, you know, insignia, and I'm just going to carefully slide this decal into position. Now what I can do is, oops, as I work with this, I can apply a little bit of water to the surface of the part just to kind of break the tension, so that it has a little bit of a surface to slide onto. So you can hopefully grab onto it and just slide the decal off. Now what I could do is I could take this Q-tip and kind of slide it into position. I'm pushing it from the edges of the decal and kind of look at the decal and make sure it's positioned correctly. Now what I like about these water slide decals is, as opposed to rub-on decals, is I could reposition the decal as much as I want until I'm satisfied with it, as opposed to kind of a one shot and you're done. So now that I have my decals set in position, I don't mind my dog. My dog's just barking at random things outside. Quiet, please. Stupid dog. So now that I have my decal in position, I could take another paper towel and carefully dab at the decal to kind of remove excess water. Now the decal's in position, I could let this dry, or I could apply a little bit of a decal setting solution. So I'm going to do that later after I finish working with these. So now I can move on to the other skirt and carefully slide this decal over as I carefully try not to tear the decal. I apply a little bit more water to the surface, and slide it over. Now again, just like the other skirt, I can work to move this decal into position. Then once I'm set, leave it as is. Now you notice that, for this particular decal, it's gonna go across a little bit of a detail bump. Now what happens for some of these type of decals is it's easier, you need to apply a setting solution so that the decal will melt according to this pattern, or according to the little bumps and surfaces. Now these pieces are fairly flat. Now if I was applying a decal to a curved surface, for the decals to conform to that surface, you need to use a decal setting solution. Now there's several different setting solutions. There's microsol, which is kind of like, it's basically water and vinegar. So you can use if you want to, you can use regular white vinegar just with a little bit of water to kind of dissipate the strength of it. Or you could purchase lacquer-based products like Mr. Mark Setter or Mr. Mark Softer. Now these are a little bit strong, and in my experience, certain paints do not react very well with this stuff. So you need to absolutely make sure you have a lacquer-based clear coat before you start using this. Since these parts are metallic, and previous attempts at placing these decals, I've run into a problem where the setting solution ate away at the metal or metallic finish. So discussing, Funaka suggested that this might be a reason. What happened is that the vinegar in this was probably still trapped under there when I sprayed my clear coats. So since the vinegar had no place to go, it kind of ate away at the metallic paint. So to combat this, he suggested that I take a little bit of water and kind of neutralize this. So I will do that after I have applied the microsol. So to apply the microsol, I'm just going to use a regular flat brush, like so, and just apply the microsol right over the top of the decal. just remove the dog hair and just apply the microsol right over the decal and just let it sit there. You want to apply kind of a thin layer, you don't want to apply too much, because again, this might damage the surface of the clear coat that you put on there or the metallic paint. Again, you want to protect your paint with the clear coat before you apply a setting solution. So now that I have my setting solution applied, I could maybe clip on, find a bigger clip. Clip the edge, and you can see that the setting solution is on there, and this will help melt the decal onto the surface. Now this is not complete. You need to let this completely dry, and once you completely dry, there's a couple of more steps to help remove these decal lines or the borders of the decal, so that these decals will eventually look painted on. So that's going to be in the next video.